Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the American Dota League. It is Season 2, Week 3, and it is the last series of Week 3, actually. Well, of course, if you count out the, Group A matches we have. But Osiris Gaming versus Top5, and two North American teams with, I guess, a pretty strong streak and a couple of big-name tournaments here and there. They've done well from time to time in things like SIVO, but Osiris just going down 0-2 to Osiris Gaming, which was a really rough series for them. Now they're sitting in a kind of precarious position in the standings. We'll see if they can really fight up against top 5 and get something going their way. Once again, thank you for joining us here, guys. My name is Mont. With me is Kyle Guy. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Happy to get this second series underway. Hopefully there's no complications from here on out. We switched up voice servers. Hopefully the Valve servers are going to be working with our side. Oh, please, almighty Gaben. There are no more lingering pauses. We'll just see how it goes. These are two North American teams, so we should see just a nice, straightforward, bash and good old-fashioned battle coming out right here. But no surprises. Top 3 banners banned out. Ember, Lycan, Naga. No surprises with all that. Ancient Apparition as well, which leaves the next best in line, a Centaur Warrunner off lane, going against a team with a Batrider off lane.
The more I watch these two heroes, especially in the same game, the more I prefer a Centaur, just because he seems so very strong. And the Stomp, Double Edge, and really also the Stampede are just so good. And Batrider, yeah, he could do work with the lasso, but Blink Dagger, I mean, you got to farm that first and foremost. And I mean, it's obvious that he'll get there with some nice jungle stacks and what have you, but there's also now an Invoker that Osiris have to deal with. But Dazzle, who was arguably one of the MVPs of that last series, is going to get picked up again, this time for top 5. And we'll see how it goes. I think top 5, they're a strong team in their own right, but against Osiris Gaming, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure exactly. Also, we know top 5 has stepped in to replace the houses down, the Brazilian team that had to step out. But I'm not sure exactly if they take over their record or not. I don't know if there's any word on that. If they do, yeah. And then they're 2-4 right now with 6 games, so they definitely need to start to work their way back up and get some wins going for themselves. Osiris are running with another bit of a roster change. Ryu Boars is not going to be joining us for this matchup, even though they do grab the Invoker again. It is instead going to be S, and I think Fanny looks new too,
Fanny's
right?
New, yeah. And Fanny's actually, I was going to talk about this. Fanny's somebody I know. He's played in the NEL. He's actually he's a decent North American Dota player. And
5 seconds remaining.
He actually was playing with EHUG when they took down Liquid. I believe it was with EHUG. Might have been Dog, but I think it was EHUG, where they took down Team Liquid in, I think, a 2-game, 3-game series. I don't quite remember, but he did a really nice job. He plays supports mostly. I believe I remember him playing a Vengeful Spirit, but obviously there's still a long way to go before we see who plays what hero. And with Osiris Gaming, they've got a new person every freaking game, so who knows?
Yeah. And then the roles can change as well, right? It was their center player, but we have seen Ziz and Willies both play in the mid game. If they do get up a Storm Spirit, I hope I get to see a Ziz Storm Spirit. He did a fantastic job in their series previously. I don't even know if they won the game. I can't remember or not, but in their first matchup, the last time they played, I believe on Tuesday, he did a fantastic job on that Storm Spirit. So we might potentially see it again. Yeah,
they lost, but he was the catalyst, I think, for them being even close in it. So
we'll see if they decide to fall back on that one. And top 5, they move on. No, true information given after picking up a Dazzle, just more like we got one of the best babysitters, one of the best defensive supports in the game, if not already the best. I mean, we're not seeing a lot of these North American teams really continue to pick up the tree. It's something that EG and Goblack and them all find extremely useful, even ban-worthy by opposing teams. But we haven't seen a lot here in the ADL, and I'm surprised by that. I think he's like next best in line as far as defensive supports next to a Dazzle. I don't know your personal opinion, but
I like him a lot. I like him a lot, and we see it. I actually saw it a bit when I was casting the Talent versus Vici Gaming game for the WVW Professional League, and I think VG picked it up. I could be mistaken about that, but it was surprising to me how good he was, and I think we might have seen it last night as well with Greg casting. I'm not 100% sure, though, but Treant Protector is just like, he's such a very strong hero with the Leech Seed, and it was with Greg. I remember Greg talking about it as well and saying that he keeps kind of underestimating Leech Seed, and a lot of people do this, but Treant Protector, I feel like, is maybe a lot of these North American teams don't feel comfortable with it, and it has its place, but if you can't run it, and if you don't have somebody that plays it and can't kind of keep their eyes on the map with Living Armor, maybe it's not worth it to pick it up, but I still like the hero. Nonetheless, top 5 go for a Puck, the Rana for Osiris Gaming, and I guess still standard pickups now coming out for both sides here, nothing so crazy.
Osiris still favor that Mirana, baby. I mean, it's
10
still their number one
seconds
go-to, though with the recent play in their previous series, I believe they have her picked up 9
5
times,
seconds
and they're
remaining.
about 5-4 with her. So, as beautiful and gorgeous as you are, my resplendent
time.
queen, I tip my fedora at you. But
They're
still,
gonna do that every
I
time.
don't know. I mean, I just can't help myself.
I feel you though. I feel the fedora tip to the Mirana. I do. I got
My
your
neck
back.
beard is now fluffed. I'm ready to go.
As is mine. Well, the Bane to couple up and
Wow.
not quite the one true pair. That
Now
you'd
I'm
like
getting a
to
bit
see,
jealous.
but,
I'm
yeah.
getting a bit jealous. Spain is just that optimal kind of man figure in her life, I guess, where
Yeah.
they just get that sweet, sweet combo. If you can't get the Shadow Demon, they'll just fall back on that. This is looking very similar to their first draft, the same kind of setup where they were denied the Shadow Demon. Now they grab up the Bane. We talked about how it didn't seem very effective in that particular matchup earlier in the game, and it just kind of fell off the wayside. So we'll see if they can kind of redeem
10
themselves. I'm
seconds,
sure
10 seconds
they're going to
remaining.
change up who plays what, so maybe they'll have better luck this
5
go around.
seconds
In
remaining.
terms of getting locked down, Bane's still kind of in a position where it's going to be scary. There's Dream Coil, there's Waning Rift
Reserve
to really
time.
cancel the channeling. There's Poison Touch if it's leveled up. There's Lasso, Flame Break. So, I mean, Bane's not going to get off a free ultimate here unless they pick somebody off. But, man, what a scary life Mirana must have to be laning with the likes of a Demon and Shadow Demon. And I don't know what the hell Bane is. Whatever him and Fix's Void, wherever they come from with no faces. And,
Anything's looking pretty good when you're hanging out with those guys a lot, I'm sure.
yeah. And then that arrogant bastard, the Invoker. So, I mean...
Yeah, we'll see. We also don't know yet if this Invoker's going to be mid. I mean, we've seen from time and time again a safe lane run Invoker, and just with how many roster changes and players swap in and out, they might have different favoritisms on where they even like to lane it. So we'll see if they decide to go that route or if they're just going to get a hefty core here and some sort of hefty core that can deal with being locked down potentially from this Bat Rider. Bat Rider's so good. I mean, with that lasso, it doesn't even matter if you have a BKB, you're going to get caught. So it might be maybe a core or someone who could take advantage of maybe using Lincoln's, could be a Doom. I mean, I don't know. This is very questionable to see because they might be focused down pretty heavily and they might be CC'd out. Puck also has great crowd control, great initiation, so you have to deal with all of that.
Right.
You know?
Well, maybe, and we talked about it a bit, Vengeful Spirit in that carry role. I don't expect to see it, but it's always an option.
Dire
Against the
team
Bat Rider,
ball.
swap is really nice. There's no Disruptor you picked up yet, and he wouldn't be a bad support to go for Osiris Gaming right now. I think that Mirana could still be a support, obviously, and like we talked about, but they still have a lot of options. The Doom to get banned
10
the last time around,
seconds
sadly,
remaining.
so that's not available. There's still options, obviously, but for
5
top 5,
seconds
they're
remaining.
looking right now like they want to grab their core. They want that hero that can really deal with this Mirana Bane
Reserve time.
kind of combo, or maybe even the Centaur Runner, which Lifestealer is a huge pickup here, but it's banned out. As I say that, I was looking for it, and there it is, sadly. But there's still other options, obviously. Somebody that can work well against these heroes. I'm not sure, though.
I don't know why Spectre's kind of jumping out to me. It's someone who could potentially be used. The global presence is nice. It's there. Wow, ban on anti-mage. That's something we don't get to see. I don't know if that's just kind of like a respect ban. I don't think Top 5 has picked it up. I don't see it in the recent top pickups, so that's pretty interesting. Luna is more appropriate ban, I do imagine, getting banned out because she does have that hefty push power and just so much potential with the help of those glaives. If she does get that farm going, though, even though she's a primary candidate for picking up the BKB, they should have some favoritism as far as lockdown. So I think both teams are a little clueless as far as what they might expect here in the final get-up.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really jumping out at me right now that's saying, pick this, pick that, pick something else. But that, again, is a theory crafter. It usually doesn't, so... Maybe somebody to work well with the
10
Invoker.
seconds
You do have a
remaining.
Bane and Sunstrike combo with that Nightmare is actually not bad.
5
Classic
seconds
Zorp
remaining.
might be the choice for them, but against a Puck, more likely than not, EMP is going to be more useful here, I guess, with that kind of
Reserve time.
initiation. But I don't know. We'll wait and see, I suppose. It really comes down to this last pick for really both sides. And with Osiris Gaming, they've got 25 seconds. They need to get back in the winning streak here because now not only have they lost one of every game in every series, they've also lost a series altogether against Osiris. So they need to get back, and the Storm Spirit is going to be their pickup.
Radiant
And
team
It's going to be the Ziz Storm Spirit mid lane. They're going to run a safe lane Invoker. That's what I figured. I mean, you could go the other way around, but I mean, now that Ryobors has stepped out, I imagine that Ziz is going to be stepping in for the mid game. And we were talking about it. I think he does a great job with it.
the thing is, you can lane Storm in a safe lane and do a safe tri lane with the Storm Spirit. It generally doesn't work, but I've seen like DK do it and they lost with it, so not that that's like the end all be all, but
10 seconds
you can also
remaining.
do Centaur, Mirana, Bane lane, and then have Storm mid and Invoker
5
solo safe,
seconds
or switch the
remaining.
Invoker and the Storm around. The thing is, Osiris just have a lot to maybe decide, and
Reserve time.
I think they're going to decide based on what this last pickup is, because this could be an aggro tri lane from top 5, depending on the hero they pick up right now, and then they'll go with the lanes. Like, okay, here's who's going where. X is going top, Y is going bottom. So they'll save their options until the game and the draft have.
This could be also something they want to prolong out for the long haul, like a Morphling, or I'm still saying maybe a Spectre here and there, someone who could take advantage of this heavy babysitting coming out.
Oh,
There it
man.
is, boom,
You're
Spectre.
so good.
Yep.
Wow.
It just was coming to me. I mean, I just feel like Pat Soul Spectre is where it's going to be at, and so much babysitting, so much way to delay the game out, allow this Dark Queen to build up a radiance and build up the damage.
You were feeling it in that Theorycraft right there, man. And I got to tell you, that's impressive. So, you called out the Spectre coming through here. The Bane Mirana combo, pretty standard
Burn
stuff
the
for
Witch.
Osiris. Yeah, and well, I don't know. We'll see. This will now be a defensive tri lane coming out more likely than not for
Prepare
top
for
5.
battle.
I'd be very surprised to see them do anything else, but I've seen crazier things before. Speaking of top 5, getting into the game here, we will have Pat Soul up on that Spectre. Well, no surprise there. Pat Soul, he's actually a pretty well-known player in North America. Looking at the Dazzle, that's going to be played by Shanks or Reed Shanks. Looking at the Bat Rider, played by Respect My Authority. We're just going to call him Respect this game around. The Visage, he's going to be up on, well, he's played by whatever. They're heading top, actually, surprisingly enough. To round it all out, mid-lane Puck, going to be played by Flive. Of course,
And,
not Fnatic Fly, but just
No. Just fly. Not always want to fly. Not Fnatic fly. Just a different kind of fly. Seems to be the popular trend. But regardless, for Osiris Gaming, we talked about a roster change here. Welcome in Mr. S playing your Invoker up here in the top. Safe lane solo, it looks like. Mid lane is going to be Ziz, of course. Classic shout out to his wish he had a girlfriend, Asia Amor, it looks like.
Oh, man.
Bottom lane, a very assertive ward already being placed here, led up by the resplendent queen Baby J. Right next, it's going to be Mr. Fanny on your Centaur, and of course Willie's playing the Bane. I've seen Willie's play Bane a couple of times. He's not too shabby with it either. So let's see if they can get this Bane Mirana combo going early.
Yeah, the thing is, it looks like they're maybe
battle
dodging this
begins.
aggro try. They're just kind of keeping this Bat Rider down here, so it looks like they know that this is up, and this is smart from top 5 to realize that this is probably an aggressive tri lane coming out from Osiris. So the thing is now, the Bat Rider should have easy access to his own jungle. He can even stack things up, and this makes it a bit more difficult, obviously. You can obviously have Willies and Baby J roam on him and make sure he doesn't get any farm, but they threw actually a ward down behind the tower, and the thing is, he'll be able to Firefly under his own tower here, but the thing is, they could dive him too. Reed Shanks is just going to head top right now, and, well, that'll start things off. Fly versus Ziz in the mid lane and the aggro tri lane bottom, and already Fanny trying to chase after Respect, but he's going to get away. He's got boots, so it's going to be tough to lock him down.
I'm loving this ward that they placed out over here to protect out the mid lane. I feel like this Beta Mirana are going to be very aggressive and look for something to happen in the mid lane and help out the Storm Spirit in need. But for now, with that ward up, it's going to make it very tricky for him. But
Oh, boy.
the best bet thing. Wow. Well, Pat Soul, as a Spectre, getting the first blood. That's probably the worst person you want to hand over a first blood to.
Yeah, that's just an immediate. That's 4-9 gold that you really didn't want to give up. And now that Midas that you thought might not come if you shut down her CS is, well, that Midas is coming, I'd imagine. I at least have to think. She bought boots first, but still, you could definitely go for it if you get the CS. And now Bat Rider's like, well, I'm feeling pretty comfortable because this Invoker, the only way he's going to get away is with Quas Wex and a Ghost Walk, and he doesn't even have Invoke yet. He doesn't have of Wex yet, so, and no boots either. They, by doing an aggressive tri lane, they kind of, I think, killed this Invoker a lot, but
Yeah.
we'll see, I guess, so.
He's not going to find anything his way. This is going to be an extremely rough situation for him. They got to try to take advantage and get something going in their favor. They got to find kills elsewhere. And here we go. That ward already paying for itself. It spots him out. They're trying to make a bit of a shift right here, but look at that, baby. Fly knows what's happening. He's flying his way far from this tier 1 tower. Doesn't want to even risk being caught out. Already going to the courier, and this is going to be a waste of their time.
Yeah, they need to use the Sentry Ward immediately. Baby J should know. They should realize something is up here, that there is no hero mid. Even if he's getting his bottle, or even if he's doing something, they've got to realize that there is some vision somewhere around. They do have a Smoke of Deceit, and they might use it, but they've got to find the right location for it to go. They're waiting right now. They're just kind of roaming around. They will smoke up. That just caught Willie's, and now Fly's just going to be sitting mid, and now they definitely know there's a ward here as he's staying right where he is, and he might get caught out. The Nightmare will go first, more likely than not. Willie's, can he hit it? Can he get in range? The phase shift might go. The TP rotation, they're diving for this. The arrow's going to fly through. It is going to hit. Is the damage there? Nice, Shallow Grave Fly. Can he illusory orb away or phase shift in time? The right click to pull in. Ziz gets the kill, but getting low, getting right click down. He'll dive for it. I don't know. Willie's, if he goes down as well, this is not worth it. And now the Visage rotating. He's going to salve up. Now he can't deny himself to the Ancients. Will they chase after him? They cancel the salve. Willie's might try to TP out. No, they've got vision with the Firefly, the Poison Touch. It'll cancel all of that, and well, he's done. Donezo.
Wow. Then that just looks a lot better for top 5 now. They traded each mid laner 1-for-1. Ziz did get a little bit of experience before he fell, but after losing that support, it's just a slight nod over to Osiris Gaming.
Yeah, that'll give them experience in
gold.
Sorry,
so slight nod to top 5, rather.
Yeah, that'll give them experience in gold that they might have not have gotten elsewhere, perhaps in that top lane, leeching experience from the Spectre, or, you know, with the TP coming mid. So Dazzle, obviously, sitting on boots now, he's feeling pretty comfortable with that play, and we saw the exact same thing happen for Osiris Gaming last game, where Osiris dove a bit too deep, and they were able to get a TP in, all of a sudden save the life of whoever mid they were trying to babysit. Unfortunately, they lost that puck, but it matters not as they get 3, I think, quick kills, or was it 2, I believe. 2 quick kills, and, well, we continue the CS war now.
Yeah, 2 in the end. It was definitely still worth it for the Dazzle to make the rotation to the mid. So now he makes his appearance back in the top. It will be a try-on-try, which is a smart choice here for Osiris. The lane was just too rough for Invoker as he's still trying to get something going for himself. He's 9-0 when compared to Pat Soul's 19-8. So he is definitely taking control of this lane as far as CS. Invoker will need the additional help.
Fanny, no. Fanny's going to die in the bottom lane. The sticky napalm strikes, and, well, the Firefly. That's enough to get a kill. And he was winning that lane, too, up until that moment in time, so.
Well, they definitely had the threat of the lingering, Mirana. Now they went up to the top lane, and Bat's happy to go one-on-one versus Centaur, I would imagine, with the help of Sticky.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's exactly really. He's like, okay, they're not here anymore. It's time to go to work, and he did just that, so. Well, they're now choosing to secure the Invoker's farm over that of the, Nightmare. Shanks walks right in front of it. Is there the damage here to get the kill? He might use that Grave, but nice. Cold Snap just in time. Willie's getting low. The Soul Assumption doing work. Tornado's going to fly through, only hitting on Pat Soul. They've got to back off now, and they'll secure a kill and turn it around. They would have liked to got the Spectre, but that was not the case. And Ziz going hard mid with the double damage rune, getting a kill on Fly. Nicely played there.
Ziz putting in some work, flexing his muscles for Asia more, I'd imagine, but he's doing a good job solid in this mid lane.
Yeah, he's played well thus far. I mean, that gank bid that went poorly wasn't really, him going down was not his fault generally. So I'd say it's 4-3, and Osiris, they're still working on CS. Fanny misses a stomp bottom, and Sticky Napalm making it hard for him to turn his neck even. That's got to be frustrating. So he'll work on getting CS. He's got 27 now. The Batrider was at like 4 at some point, but with the kill, that gave him a lot of room as well. And now he's level 6 too. So Batrider, they're about tied in experience here, but you've got to be careful if you're Fanny, I'd imagine.
Yep, the offlaners get out hit one-on-one. I like it. We'll see which one can get the Blink Dagger going first. But Willies jumps in with the help of the Global. Can they get this bat? They're going to try to catch him out. Oh, nice stop. We'll catch him in place for now. Will they sap him down? Wow. They can't really get organized here. There's the lasso. Oh, no, this is not good. A temporary sleep to help out Fanny, but Fanny will end up falling. Very nice. Respect my authority. Respect my bat play, sir, as you will not be able to catch me. But a jumping coming up from Ziz. Will he get redemption? Trying to go for Shanks. Shanks should have a Grave here. Throws out the heal in the meantime. There goes the Grave, but Ziz has no more mana to work with. He's going to try to commit, but here comes Pat Soul, baby. Jumping right in with the Spectre. No more mana to work with, but can he get a support? Will this be worth the time? It will. Pat Soul picks up a quick kill. Very nice for top 5 and very nice for Pat.
That was a really nice engagement for top 5. Good counter initiation, and what happened actually, well, hold that thought as well. Pat Soul might get ganked. They're going to stomp him right now. Double Edge is going to go through. He already used his Spectral Dagger. Pat Soul, no, he's got it available, but he's not using it. The cell not going to save his life, and Ziz gets the kill. Well, he'll stay alive, and now Ziz with a killing spree. But what actually happened over here was Fanny was looking for the double edge, and he was trying to hit it, but this tree, or one of these trees, was in his way. As, well, Batrider, he was Fireflied here, but it didn't break one of these trees down. So Fanny was trying to get in this way, then he realized he was getting blocked. He had to go out this way. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but yeah, I don't know. That's exactly what he was saying. He's like, listen, got him. I got him. I'm a bat rider.
I knew it. Whole time. Perfect trees, bird down appropriately, and I got the proper positioning and took him out. All calculated, worked in my favor.
Measured as fuck, as some people would say.
Protractor out on the screen. I got it all going for myself.
But, yeah, no, it just turns out to be a little bit of luck going the way of respect, and he turns around and gets a kill because of it. And, well, a lot of carnage, actually. 6-5 at about 8 minutes in, and that's not bad for really either team. I mean, they like getting kills, but you have to imagine that the more that they're shutting down Pat Soul, the better they're feeling. They don't really care about some of the other heroes dying. Like, okay, yeah, Centaur could go down. We'll see some of these supports go down. That's fine. As long as we're getting our 5-man, or at least team fight, a bit earlier than Pat Soul can get some of his items, we're feeling comfortable. And already you see Fanny rotating mid. Look at her try to catch somebody out. There's the ball lightning. Vortex flying through. Stomp to go as well. The double edge. That'll grab the kill. They'll Stampede away. Ziz, no mana to use his ball lightning, but he has a salve. Bottom lane. Pressure coming through. Dream Coil. Willie's. The Nightmare is up, but will he deny himself? It looks like no. Getting low is Fly coming through. And he'll grab that last hit on Willie's. And, good stuff.
So support for a bat, all in all, not too shabby. Yeah. Pat Soul didn't get the kill. I bet he would have been very nice for him if he managed to pick it up for himself. But we'll see. But this is what it's all about with the Storm Spirit. At least we're getting ready to approach the mid game, and already Ziz has got 5 kills under his belt. So he's doing a fantastic job, as we were expecting him to. But we'll see if things keep going. Bottom lane, Shanks throwing a little bit of harassment here onto Fanny. Fanny not looking to commit just yet. But the team is on the way. No global available. Another 45 seconds till he even has that. And mid lane, just still, it looks like it's going to be a one-on-one matchup here as Fly and Ziz will go head-to-head.
Yeah, and if you look at the CS, actually, Ziz has the lead, and, well, he's getting closer and closer to that Orchid. Fly, what does he have? Will he go Treads, or will he go for that Blink Dagger straight away? Treads, we've seen more and more often here, but Blink Dagger's not a bad choice to rush into it either. I mean, especially if you're getting decent farm. So we'll have to wait and see. But bottom lane, they're going to find Bane, but he'll run away. He's got boots now, so he's not as slow as he used to be. And he's still looking for level 6. Right now, level 4. He is not the lowest in levels. That's the Mirana, who's level 3. And Baby J has had a bit of a rough 2 days here playing for Osiris right now. He needs to get something going. He's got to get some experience somewhere, but maybe mid lane might not be the right choice. Ziz will be able to, of course, use Vortex and get a kill, but it's going to be tough. He's just got to farm a bit right now, and Baby J's got to sit in the trees, wait for an arrow potentially, but now everyone else back to CSing.
I mean, a bit of harassment on top. Invoker just trying to zone out the bat right here. And it looks like the Invoker is actually going to also be going for an Orchid, just like the Storm Spirit, like they did previously when going against the Ember Spirit. Double Orchid get up. So a bit interesting. It didn't work out for him rather too well. We were critiquing him not getting a Force Staff. So let's hope it's the right item choice for him this go around. A DD Rune is on the bottom. It looks like Ziz is heading there right now. We'll see if he picks it up and uses it, as there might be a potential engagement here in the bottom lane. A lot of people crowded here.
Yeah, it looks like they're grouping up, getting ready to go. As far as the itemization for the Invoker right now, I mean, Orchid's a good item, and I think it's better in this game. There's no clockwork to deal with. Ziz going hard on Fly. He's got the DD. He blows up that hero. Pat Soul coming in a bit too late on the dagger. Will do some damage to Ziz. He tried to disjoint it, just missed it barely, I believe. And, well, now Ziz will back away, and he's still going to live, but he's got to head back to the well. But he picks up a kill nonetheless. Arrow flying bottom. Fanny zoning everybody out right now, and they actually pulled here just to make sure that Pat Soul can get some CS, but he actually went mid with that haunt. Here we go. Firefly, Grave Chill, Fanny gonna get lassoed and brought back as well. They have Soul Assumption ready to go. They've got the Shadow Wave, but nice Nightmare. Fanny's still in a bit of trouble. Stomp misses. He'll try to TP. Well, that's not gonna work. Arrow's gonna clip on whatever, but they still grab the kill on the Centaur, and now everyone leaves. Just GTFO if you are right.
Just can't do anything. I mean, this Bay's not even level 6, no Fiend's Grip available, and Baby J, don't even get me started, still level 3 after 11 minutes in. Just they have nothing else to offer. I mean, they're going to catch out Centaur, and it's going to go uncontested. Just quick pick off on his front, so good for top 5 to just kind of get it going and take another kill back in their favor. 8-7, they lead.
This seems to be the problem with Osiris, is that their supports are never really leveled when they need to be. EMP went in the top lane. Fly, use that phase shift accordingly just to make sure he's got enough mana. He can even use his Illusory Orb if he needs to, but wow, he wasn't breaking a sweat there. He's like, there's no way he's going to dive me for this. I don't even need to pop the Illusory Orb and jump through it, so that's impressive. S trying to do what he can, but well,
casual Vite Booster picked up here for Pat Soul. I mean, if it was a lot earlier, I'd say, oh, maybe that early Vanguard get up. But for now, maybe reliable. Maybe looking to invest it into a future Manta.
Yeah, I still think it's a Vanguard, maybe, because he obviously has the Stout Shield. It wouldn't be a stretch to see a Vanguard, but yeah, it could also be a casual Vit Booster as well. Either or, it's fine. I mean, eventually he'll probably go towards a heart anyways, so one way or another, Vid Booster, good pickup, but I don't know if it's going to save him this time around. He's going to get Orchided as Ziz just picks it up, but look at the damage, not enough, and the Shallow Grave, and it will save him. That Vitality Booster gives him enough health just to survive that engagement.
I was questioning it, but right there he shows it saves his life, so you know what, sir? You've earned it. So Patsoul makes a jump back, plus with the help of Dazzle, makes it very nice. But now a Wounded Spectre runs back. We'll see if Osiris wants to engage, even though she probably has the haunt. Z's going to catch out Shanks here. And a quick judge back. Yeah, and yep. Jumps his way all the way back to the river. Now we'll have no mana to use for this next potential fight. But though, he does have a full bottle, so he could still bottle up and potentially make something happen.
Yeah, the Poison Touch, he was waiting for that to take off, and now he'll bottle up. And he actually has some decent mana regen from the Orchid as well, which is 7.5, I believe, with it. So that's nice. Top lane, another Orchid coming through, like we talked about. Blink Dagger now done for the puck. 13 minutes, not bad. He rushed it, so no treads going his way, but he'll get those soon enough. But Invoker's getting a lot of room to farm now. His CS is actually 68, and they're leading the way with him and Ziz. So the problem for Osiris, again, their supports, they're underleveled and underfarmed, but when they get their cores going, they can carry the game. The thing is, again, if it goes late enough, like we saw with the Ember last game, this Spectre could start doing work. And well,
absolutely.
And Patsoul, I mean, he's a mean carry player.
If Patsoul had a Midas, things would be a little more scary. He doesn't. It's going to be a few more steps before he even gets some reliable damage out there to work with. His haunt, it'll be there. It'll be aggressive. It won't be the hardest thing. Oh, arrow catches on Shanks, by the way. Rip him apart. See you later, Dazzle. They're also making a jump in. Wow, but they trade for the Invoker. Well worth it for top 5 here. They're thinking about they want more, but they'll pull back. So a quick 1-1 exchange.
Ziz, Soul Assumption, Nightmare, Illusior blows him up. Jumping through, not even needing to jaunt. That's 2 down for Osiris. Those 2 cores that we were just talking about that were really helping out. And all of a sudden, they go down. So that's a bit problematic. This is without, obviously, any real damage from Patsoul. I mean, yes, the Haunt, the Desolate, if he has it skilled up, which is actually only 1 point now, and he's got 830 gold. This is where we see, does he go for that Vanguard, or does he decide to maybe pick up maybe a Radiance at some point, and maybe go for a Diffusal instead? If he goes for the Vanguard, then it's going to help a lot, because this is a team that fights very early on for Osiris, like we talked about, with really all the damage they have from the Orchid, well, 2 of the Orchids, and I would not be super surprised to see Patsoul pick up that item. A lot of people are like, well, it's a Vanguard. It's not very good, especially if you get it like 14 minutes. It's not that bad to pick it up that late. So we'll see if Spectre goes for it. He's heading to maybe the secret shop now. He could have got it from the side shop, so looks like no. Looks like he's just going to buy something else instead. I think he...
My inkling... Oh, hold on. Jump in by Ziz, going big and going hard, but Mirana gets the last hit with that very nice placed arrow. Baby J happy to get any farm she can. Now moves on to level 6. Actually does not level up the Moonlight Shadow, so that could be questionable by some, but regardless, they get the quick pick off on the support. They're looking to try to take a tier 1 here in the mid lane, but I was going to say, I have an inkling and feeling that Osiris, if they can't try to end this one before 30 minutes, they're going to be in for a really hard time, and at that point, especially with no Necrobooks or anything to fall back on, it's going to be so hard for them to try to end this one. They're making a jump in. It'll just continue on. Apparently, as a host stomp goes out, but he's eating a lot of damage. No more mana. Double edge. Gonna go out, but they're not gonna come anything of it. Centaur ends up going down. 2-man coil here. Ziz will make the jump and will look to get away, but Baby J is not so lucky. Still just a little too squishy. Tornado EMP will land on whatever, but he just accepts he has no more mana. There goes the Blink Lasso here. They're going to try to catch out, and they do take down S on the Invoker. Very nice pickoff once more. 3 for 1 all day. Top 5, man. Taking it right to Osiris.
Yeah, that was a bit of a miscommunication. First off, they dove past the tier 1 tower, was still alive at the time. Now they're looking for the Storm Spirit. Ziz out of mana during that entire engagement, I believe. He did get the kill on the puck at the end there, but I mean, when it comes down to it, that's just, they threw up the Nightmare right after the stomp, and I don't know why they did that. Willie's, I'm not sure what was going on there, but Fanny just jumped right in, and they didn't cancel that animation for the Nightmare either. Maybe he was trying to use it on Fanny. I'm not really sure, but either way, it was not a good fight for Osiris. They lose 3. And now they're smoked up, they're ready to go again. Blink, they missed the stomp. Blink away, coming out from the Respect, obviously, just to make sure he stays alive. And that should have been maybe a potential kill, but again, a missed opportunity. And Osiris have had a lot of those. Now they do have Fiend's Grip up on Willie. He just hit 6 not too long ago. They're going to Moonlight Shadow, and they're going to try to pick up Spectre, who has no mana to Spectral, Dagger, or Haunt. So, yeah, the Nightmare's going to go first.
They got Fiend's Grip, too.
I don't know if they need it. Maybe. Brain Sap, Double Edge, Arrow flying. Oh, they do need Fiends. He doesn't have mana for it, though. Patsoul might live. Tornado flying through. It's going to hit. Is there enough damage? Fly jumps in with the silence. Now there's the Dream Coil. Patsoul might die for this, but is it going to be worth it? It looks like no. S taking that Dream Coil damage. Going to try to Cold Snap. Phase shift going through, 3 down. Baby J on the backside. No leap available. And they seem to know that she's there and will kill her with the silence coming through and the illusory orb to clean it all up. Why didn't you use the Fiend's Grip? Why?
I guess, I don't know. I don't know. They just should have secured the kill. Maybe they felt like they didn't want to throw too much away. I think even Spectre could have bought back and just used Haunt there just to be a part of those kills. No, he actually had Haunt down, but regardless, still coming out on top. Even with the loss of Pat Stoll, they still could take control of the fight and take down 3, man. Top 5. If they just keep this going, there's going to be a late game secured for them. But Osiris, they also need to try to get something going for themselves because the clock's ticking. They're not going to be able to end this one if they don't have much going.
The thing is, they have the early game advantage. You might argue in the fact that they've got the Invoker and they've got the Storm Spirit, who are both extraordinarily farmed with an Orchid. And Patzel has a Vit Booster and Phase, and that's it. And he shouldn't be able to do much in these fights. But with that casual Vit Booster, he's surviving way longer than he should as just obviously a Spectre with Phase Drum. So that means that you've got to use your Fiend's Grip, you've got to use your big damage abilities, you've got to use your lockdown, you've got to expend everything just to make sure you secure the kill. And maybe they don't even get the kill with Fiend's Grip. Maybe that's the argument there, but Patzel, he did go down, but when you lose 4 heroes for it, it's certainly not worth it. And Ziz, he wasn't even there in that engagement either, so it looked like the rest of the team but Ziz were ready to go. Fandy's been very aggressive. He's got his Blink. He's had it for some time now. He's going to be going for, I guess, a mech as he picks up the Chainmail, so that Buckler might get started. It could be a Blade Mail as well. But I'm surprised he didn't go for a Hood into a Pipe. That's an item you usually see on that hero. But, well, 90 minutes in, and like you said, they've got to get something going. They're going to try to push bottom lane.
There's to jump in, though. Tornado. Here comes the crowd control to get it done. Centaur ultimate Dazzle quickly gets taken down before he can shallow grave the puck, who actually lives. Very nice. The Centaur will be ripped apart. Fanny caught out now. The lasso on Willie's bursted him down as well. 2 for 1 in the exchange. EMP will fly out to try to slow him down, but now Invoker's got to run away under the Moonlight Shadow. And once again, it looks like Osiris Gaming are not going to be able to get this one done rather. And it's just looking really rough. I mean, now Respect completed his full Batrider tool belt, the Blink rather, and the Force Staff. And all during that while, Mirana picked up a Midas. Very late Midas, was about 18-minute Midas in, so I guess that's the closest thing they can get for late game, or trying to get into a late game bit of damage, but it's going to be a little bit of time.
Well, we just saw Ziz try to go hard on that Rider. Unfortunately, well, he just saw that Force Staff come into effect like you were talking about, and I gotta say, for top 5, Respect, as well as the Fly, of course, playing that puck, and really to round it out, the 3 cores, whatever. These 3 heroes have been playing so very well. We saw in that last fight, the Visage Familiars, that's pretty much the reason why Fanny died. He jumped in, he had a Stampede ready, he used it, I believe, and he couldn't get away because the Familiars were ready to stun him in a second. Then he got locked down, then the last one came through on, I forget which hero, but they won that fight pretty hardcore. And I don't know when the last time Osiris won a fight or got a good engagement that went their way. But they're throwing their bodies at these towers and at these engagements. But still, they actually do have a 2,000 gold lead. But I don't know where that's coming from. It must just be from the Invoker and from the Storm, because they have the top 2 net worth right now.
Yeah, well, we'll see how long they can actually hold on to that. He's trying to finally linger away at this top tower and take it down. It's pretty low here. Already a rotation to come, though, from the Batrider, who is apparently getting a phone call, so we'll allow him to get that going underway. But next, 2,100 gold available. Does he fall back on a Necro Book? Does he go for a Push Staff? Does he go more utility? He doesn't have much life to work with, mind you. He's still under 1,000 life.
At this point, I'd say you could work towards, I don't know if they have a drum on anybody, which is actually kind of surprising. And that used to be a pretty common item on the Invoker, but I don't know. I'd say it could be a number of things. Number one, if he wants to be a bit more mobile and have a bit more health and I guess a larger mana pool, he can go for the drum. I mean, he already has Wex, so he moves quickly enough. He can go for the Force Staff, which is really good against a lot of the heroes for top 5 if he gets caught out of position. But Dream Coil obviously is still going to stun him if he forces away. If he goes for a Scythe, that'll take longer to complete up, but it gives them better lockdown, which might be good against a Batrider or even a Puck, which they really, I mean, an Orchid's good, but at some point they might need to pick up a Hex Stick as well. So those are the three options in my mind that kind of make sense.
I'm also feeling a Blink Dagger might be a potential pickup. We've seen it from time to time recently. Just it's all about that positioning. If they can get a nice Blink Dagger in and a proper, Tornado EMP to start things off, it can be pretty hectic for top 5 to try to fight out of that one. So that's something he can also fall back on. He could be just waiting for one more selfish creep pick off and then go to the side shop right there and grab the Blink. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. I mean, he's saving up gold for something, and it's either an ultimate orb or probably that Blink Dagger. Or it could be something else, but that would make the most sense, I think, also, just because that gives him the mobility he needs, and it helps a lot if you're going to get, blinked on. You can just blink away in about a matter of seconds and kind of confuse the opponent. So, and I've seen many Invokers go for Blink Daggers as well in recent days, so it's not a huge surprise to see that item come out. It really depends on the play, or player, I should say, but for Osiris right now, they've got to make their item choices worth it here, because they're clearly not winning any engagements, and the longer it goes on, the more farm the Spectre gets, sitting up at 2,700 gold, and you got to wonder what Pat Soul's next item is. It'd be surprising to see a Radiance, considering the item choices that he's went for. He still doesn't have his drum if he wants to pick it up with his bracers still on tow, but I don't know. If you look at this from a casual, I guess, objective standpoint, you probably say that top 5 take this, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good for top 5. I don't think Osiris have quite enough to really just take them down and cripple them and just try to suffocate them into the base, which is at this point what you want to do. I think there's still just too much room right now for top 5 to work with. There's plenty of farm to be had. Spectre's going to be able to get to that point where she can build the damage, whether it is go for the Radiance, whether it is a Diffusal or straight Manta or what have you. Whatever path Pat Soul wants to go down, I think he's going to have a fairly good time getting there. And it's just going to be a little too late by the time that Osiris can get something going. Now, if they do catch off some lingering like supports, or maybe Pat Soul getting a little too aggressive being out in the lane and farming, they could pick him off a couple of times and they could turn this one around. So it still could be anyone's game. I just have a slight nod towards top 5.
I think it's been every single team fight that top 5 have participated in. The counter initiation has been sublime. You'll see Fanny jump in, and more often than not, that's really felt like, oh, no, don't do that. No, please don't kill yourself, because it seemed like he's jumped into his death many, many times. So Fanny, it's not necessarily his fault. That's a hero that you have to jump in with your Blink Dagger and then stomp up, but you've got to be able to get out as well. And when you hit that stomp, you've got to make sure it's on the heroes that really are going to cause the most damage. And like I said, it's going to be Fly, who has a phase shift first and foremost, and the Bat Rider, who's got so much mobility that it's ridiculous. So, like you said, it's looking really good, but Sizz is 2 levels ahead of the puck right now. He's got close to his scythe done. He just needs to get a couple more 1,000 gold to get there, and the Orchid as well, and that's going to be some decent farm, honestly.
The lockdown would help. The CC will be there. I mean, Spectre doesn't have a BKB or anything to stop it, so it'll be the opportunity. It's just a matter of can they break through and burst it down quick enough. If the Dazzle's nearby, it's just going to make things even harder. So if they find the right opportunities, they'll definitely be able to capitalize on it. It's just a question of will those opportunities actually be there.
Well, that's the thing. Dota, no one really knows until the games have been played out. And well, we got to reconnect. Looks like we're about to get back into it with whatever, jumping back in. Who's got the point booster? Who's got that Ogre Club as well? And I think if he gets an Aghanims, honestly, like this is going to be even worse, because that not only could just like destroy you in a team fight, but towers
Radiant's
might not even be an issue. And also, that's the thing. That's where this gold lead comes from for Osiris. They've been pushing down towers, but they have a lot of their own. Oh, nice little Orchid come out from the Invoker just to make sure that Respect couldn't get in there to use that last one. Lily was there as well to make sure that he would help out. So they lose another tier 1 tower. And this is the crazy thing. That's the last tier 1 of the game for top 5. And they're still only down 3,000 gold. I say only. That's still pretty significant at 21 minutes. Oh, Respect is stuck in the trees. You can blink out. Yeah, okay. So if they get like 2 tier 1s, all of a sudden this lead is nowhere near as monumental as it was before. So
the second that top 5 come out on top in one of these fights, they'll clear out 2 to 3 of these towers in a heartbeat, and then their gold will look ridiculous. So the gold graph may say one thing, but that's only because top 5 are just reserving themselves for the right opportunity to really punish Osiris at the right time, and it's just a matter of Osiris breaking their game plan or not.
Yeah. I think also is that you just really can't fight into a Quasfix Invoker. That's the issue. You see so much counter initiation and not as much initiation. But as I say that, they will. There's the Moonlight Shadow a bit late. Ziz is going to go down very quickly. The Dream Coil came through just to secure the kill. Fanny, he's hunted. So is Willie's. There's the Fiend's Grip up now. Will they get this? The arrow flies through. It hits. They find a target. They finally bring somebody else down. This time it is going to be the Batrider, but they've got to lose their Storm Spirit in order to do so. They'll pick up a gem as well up in the Mirana just to make sure they've got complete map control in. I like that pickup a lot, so.
If top five get a fight going right now, it would still be nice for them. I mean, Ziz went down, he didn't get anything off. Batrider had used his lasso and everything already, so it's, you know, it's fine for now that they don't have him, but doesn't look like anything's going to come of it. It looks like they might consider going for the first tier 1 here in the mid lane, while Osiris are looking to start their assault on the tier 2s, bottom being the first full half-life here. Baby J, still just a Midas. We'll see if he can get up enough farm for himself with the help of these towers to build the damage, which they will desperately need in the late game to contest the Spectre. And, well, still the tier 1 standing. Fortification pops out here, and Willie's already shows up. They might deny the first tower here for top 5.
Yeah, it's not in deny range just yet, but... and it won't be by the time this group wave's done. Ziz is going to clean it up real quick. And, well, we were talking about what that Spectre's going to build into. She just purchased up that Sacred Relic, so it's going to be that Radiance coming out for the Spectre player. And with that, that's probably what they're waiting for. They could have definitely defended down bottom, but they probably weren't feeling very comfortable. They didn't have Ziz to deal with, but they certainly just didn't want to try to take that fight. They wanted to get the tier 1 mid. They're okay with losing a couple of towers as long as it means that the Spectre's getting farm, and that's exactly what's been happening. Now, top lane, maybe an initiation. Here comes the Invoker, looking to jump in. Cold Snap, the Aura gets up, fly. Nice Fuel Scepter. Blink, Lasso. Was it a bait? Potentially. S gonna go down. Fanny uses the Stampede. Here we go. Ziz jumping in with that Vortex. Now they're working on whatever who got hit with an arrow. Soul Assumption flying through. Grabs S finally. He was still alive. Double Edge coming. And Osiris, they get a win going their way. Finally a team fight where they don't lose more than one hero.
Man, unbelievable. S, we were questioning what item he's going to go for. He went for a Yule's. It temporarily saved him in the meantime, but he did end up falling. But regardless, Osiris ended up coming out on top. They don't take down the big bad Spectre, obviously, in the end of that fight as he continues to farm up this bottom lane. But it's definitely a victory. Definitely more kills they could use. They want to be able to get Baby J a little more farm here, so she'll be able to get something online for herself.
Yeah, Baby J is going to be, I think, a pivotal factor in this game. They know it's going to go past 30 minutes at this point, maybe even 35, unless there's a pivotal team fight that either revolves around Roche or nobody has buybacks. There's a lot at stake here, obviously, in the next couple of minutes. This is really where it gets kind of crazy. But you talked about actually the Yules up for the Invoker. I didn't even know he had one. I assumed that was Puck's Yules. I'm not sure. I think they both have one. So either way, Yules is Yules, and whoever used it, well, more power to you. It might have saved your life. It might not have. So we'll see. Let's see what else is going on here. Pat Soul, he's pretty much got the Radiance. He's going to have it flown out right now. And now maybe they team fight. But guess what? Moonlight Shadow's going to come out for Osiris. They're going to look for an engagement. They'll try to look in the jungle here. They should still have that gem. They just picked it up. I'm not sure who has it now, but it's actually on Ziz here. So they can counter ward. They know where everyone should be. They see Pat Soul farming mid. The jump would be long for Ziz, and he would lose a lot of his mana. He actually, instead of going for that Scythe, he went for the Lincoln Sphere, and that was an option, but I didn't think he was going to do that, but against the lasso, it makes the most sense. So, all right.
We'll see if he can make good use of it. I like Willie's. He's putting out the Sentry Wars, blocking off the spawns, preventing Spectre from getting the side easy farm. Mirana's going to have a hard time here, though. She has very, very low life, and now the Radiance picked up on Spectre. She's going to be eating a lot of damage just from the haunt. There's the Blinken. They're trying to make it go on Ziz, but Ziz with the Lincoln Sphere. Grave is going to save Bat. Can Bat get away from this one? Force out for something, buddy. Can't get away. Lasso at the last second. Holding in. Fanny, he will end up falling, but so will Fanny. 3 immediately down for Osiris. Ziz on the run here. Low life. Puck ends up falling, but Pat Soul, man, he is a man on a mission. He's trying to get something caught out. Now converging up to the mid lane. Willie's trying to make it go away, but Familiars, though, preventing him, and they'll actually just end up turning it into a tier 1, but overall, definitely in their favor. They take it 2 for 3 and a tier 1 tower.
And this is what you were talking about. As soon as they got one fight going their way, top 5, they'll convert that into a tower as long as the creep wave is nearby. And guess what? That tier 1 tower, they're first of the game. That's huge. I mean, Ziz, he tried to do what he could in that team fight, but the lasso, it came through at the end after all, and Fanny had to fall because of it. And it was a really nice grave so early, but at the same time, you saw the nuke damage. Shanks, he made an immediate impact with that Grave coming through, saving the life of that Bat Rider and making them focus on him a bit longer. And they get another tier 1 top just to a siege creep alone. That's a huge pickup. Now a little bit more gold going their way. And they did lose Fly, but not a huge deal. So now the question is, if you're Pat Soul, what item did you go for next? Do you maybe finish off this heart? Do you go for a Mantisile? You've got some options here.
It doesn't seem like he's been eating a lot of pressure as far as lockdown and CC, so yeah, he can move on to more damage, maybe not go for too much defense just yet. So yeah, I'm not too sure. The options are available. I mean, at this point, he's got to feel a lot more in control. He's throwing out the haunt, and it's definitely dwindling away a lot of these lower-lifed individuals. We got Willies. Sorry, my throat is like giving out in that moment. 872 life. And we also have the Mirana. Actually, now picked up a bit of a boost. I guess she finished out her power treads or something. And the bracer as well.
She's had the power treads for a while. The bracer just came online. The 1,000 gold is really that farm is mostly just coming from using her Midas, I think, and getting a couple of creep camps in the jungle. And that's still Baby J was a support early on, and you have to remember where he was like 10 minutes ago, even 20 minutes ago. He's still very, very low in terms of levels. He's only level 11. He just got there.
His net worth is still very, very low, too. He's third to worst as far as net worth, so it's just not enough to contribute to this team. I mean, she's there with the Moonlight Shadow, she's there with an arrow, maybe a Starstorm, but the right clicks, they're not doing too much. Her survivability is a little better now with the help of the bracelet and everything, but other than that, just not a big factor for him.
Oh, Visage. He's got Aghanim's Blink Stomp from Fanny. That's very aggressive. He's got a Stampede away. Soul Assumption came through the Visage Birds. The Blink the last. They catch him. Swap. No. Or something. Fanny gets brought back with that Force Staff. Arrow flying errantly. They will grab that kill. Shanks getting blown up by that long-range ball of lightning. Man, he just nuked him down. Now the Moonlight Shadow Fly in some trouble. Nice jewels to save his life. There's the Lincoln Sphere coming out from the Soul Assumption. They cannot pick off Fly. Now Pat Soul looking for Ziz. Do they have detection? Dust. Use your dust. Somebody has it. Ziz getting Radiance Burn. Will Pat Soul dive this? There's the Spectral Dagger. Ziz has one more jump away. Now the Illusory Orb. No jaunt in. Blink forward. Force Staff. Now the Soul Assumption. So very low. Whatever wants this kill, but his bird's not fast enough. But the Soul Assumption. Oh, the Yule Scepter saved his life. Wow. That Soul Assumption probably gets the kill there. But, wow.
I mean, they ended up losing the battle, but they're making him sweat trying to get these last couple of pickoffs here. That classy little Yule's just something you don't get to see, but uses it right at the most acute moment right there to be able to get away from a bit of a jam for himself. But for now, top 5 take their victory, go back to the jungle, continue farming out a bit, building up, becoming stronger for the next big fight to come. And hopefully a big fight which they could try to end this.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, they're chipping away at the gold lead. Top 5 are getting in a position where they feel comfortable, like we talked about with Pat Soul farming. He finished up his drum, which I was wondering when he was going to do that. So he picks that up after the Radiance, and now that's another item that's going to help him, and not only him, but his team as well. The 1,000 experience lead is still going for top 5. They had a 2,000 one at some point, but there was a fight not too long ago that top 5 kind of got decimated in, and, well, that was a bit of a problem, as now it's still swinging back and forth between them and Osiris, but it comes down really to positioning and getting caught out here, as it mostly does in Dota. But so much lockdown and maneuverability going on, it's hard to keep your camera on this stuff. Speaking of which, Blink Lasso coming in, Force Staff back, 12 Lightning in long range. They lose the Bane, they mech up just before, or just after I should say. They will double edge 2 heroes. One of them going down was Fly, and the Tornado is now up on whatever. He's going to pop that Soul Assumption. Fly takes a bit of damage from it. The Haunt in, Pat Soul coming back, wants to fight, wants to keep going. Soul Assumption, Moonlight Shadow going, keeping at least most of them alive. There's going to be no Ghost Walk, but it's too late. S will fall to the Visage, getting the kill with his familiars and the Soul Assumption. They actually had the gem on him, and that Haunt came in a bit late, actually, but nonetheless, it did work once he got into the engagement.
Yep, and picking up an Ultimate Orb, he's going to go straight for the Manta. More survivability for him. Just a little more life on those illusions and everything, and it's just going to get very, very hard for Osiris the longer this goes. I mean, they just, I don't know. They have to find these right opportunities, but top 5 are not giving anything away. They're making them work. They're making the exchanges worth it. The best case scenario for him has been an even trade-off here, but that's not something you want. And, well, Roche stands here. Dire, obviously with the advantage. Maybe thinking about lingering in. There goes the ping. They might actually try to sneak this one out, and they got to be careful already. The familiars lingering, we'll see them. They might hand over one, but the information's given. There goes the stun, and now they have to second guess even committing for this.
They're not going to. There's no way. They don't have a medallion. They have no right click to take this Roshan down, and the familiar is scouting them out as soon as they were really trying to go for it. They're actually baiting this a bit, maybe. They're going to get 2 familiars here for Ziz.
Wow, Ziz.
Yeah, he's going to work on it. He might get all 3.
Look at him go.
Wow, get 3, get 3. He's so greedy. He actually, no, the uphill miss.
Uphill.
Oh, but he gets it anyways.
He got it in the end. That son of a bitch.
They were like trying to bait him too. Like at the end there, they tried to bait him, but
300 gold for all your mana. I think it's pretty worth it. Why not?
I think that was worth it. I mean, the biggest thing is it's on cooldown now. It's still on cooldown for about 48 seconds. So like now they don't have to worry about Visage Birds for that period of time, which is actually a big deal because he's got an Ags, and that's like, yeah, you got Soul Assumption, but Visage Birds are pretty ridiculous when you have an Ag in him. So the thing is, I didn't like them sneaking Roche. If they were going to do it, they needed a medallion, and they still don't have really any right click. BKB going, Lasso's now up. They're going to catch out Willies again. This poor Bane. Tornado's going long range. There's the Nightmare, Soul Assumption. Haunt's going through. Dream Coil, it's going to be on Fanny. The Moonlight Shadow. They will have a gem, but it's not near right now. Ziz gets the kill. Now he's working towards Visage. Will he get this one is the question. Now Fly jumps back. There's the silence. The Illusion Orb. Can they take down this elusive Storm Spirit? He ball lightnings away. That's all of his mana. Soul Assumption. That's the kill. That's enough of a stack coming out for that Soul Assumption damage to pick it up. And Visage gets a mega kill streak, which is 755 gold. And he actually picked up another gem as well. I'm not sure who has it now. Maybe Pat Soul. No, is it Fly?
Oh, Invoker.
Oh, Invoker. He's going to get out just in time. Very close.
That dagger's going to fly all the way to base. Look at it. Look at it go. Look at that thing. All the way to base it goes. Try to catch up with the Invoker. Very nice. But yeah, man, it's all about top 5. They're controlling the pace of all these fights. They're dictating when the fight will happen. And they're coming out on top each time. Osiris just too much on the back foot here, doing all they can to defend, and it's just not working out. But here's the buyback. Ziz, long jump all the way across, trying to go for the Batrider, gets it. Vortex, very long range. Orchid, can he right-click him down, jump in, and does it. Ziz, back from the dead, gets a bit of redemption for himself, but I don't know, man.
Chaos. The Bane chaosed it. I'm pinging him for that. I would definitely ping him if he was in my game, but now it's fine. Willie's getting at least some golden experience because of that, obviously. But Ziz is, and again, and we've seen it before, Ziz is a guy that, well, he knows how to play the Storm Spirit, and he's doing his absolute best right now trying to keep them in this game. It's an uphill battle against the Spectre, who's very farmed. No Haunt now for 24 seconds. They're trying to sneak Roshan in the meantime, but here comes Shanks. He's going to weave up. Armor reduction, Fly. Dream Coil only on Willie's now. There they go. They use the Fiend's Grip jumping in. Now Electric Vortex flying. Ziz gets 1. 3 down. 4 down. The Radiant, they're all dying. Patzel getting blasted down as well. That's going to be a team wipe. I don't know how they got back into it, but they certainly absolutely just demolished top 5 in that engagement.
Bad positioning, unbelievable. The puck gets caught out. Very nice Fiend's Grip followed up with an arrow. They burst down the little bug before it has the opportunity to do anything. And one by one, it's just they fall right apart. And now they hand it over to the Roche. Osiris Gaming with a breath of fresh air, getting right back into this one. I don't know if it's enough to build forward in the late game, but man, top 5 just kind of threw it away a bit right there.
Yeah, that was not a good engagement. The weave came out. Dazzle and Puck kind of clumped up. Ziz went to work. Fanny jumped in as well with the stomp. And, well, really, it just, like you said, wasn't a good engagement. It seemed like everything it just went wrong. And Osiris, well, they're finally able to get some farm now on Baby J, who, well, he's got a Yasha. His next item could be that Maelstrom or Mjolnir that we're so used to seeing. He's got that Midas, which gives him that attack speed as well, which is minimal at best, but now he's got a couple of options. Necrobook, that's the choice coming up for the Invoker. A bit of an unorthodox build, if you will, but especially considering it's Quas Wex, but Necro's never a bad choice, especially when you get those Forge Spirits up. There are 2 gems in base right now, just kind of sitting there. I don't think they have any more on them. They just put them down and said, listen, these things are too valuable to give up, so we'll keep them for ourselves in the base. And now they get a lot of room to farm, but they wasted that by having to regen. So, yes, they get the Roche, they get the Aegis, and they get a lot of gold going their way, but it's still an uphill battle, even though they actually have a gold lead, which is 5,000. Moonlight Shadow.
Mid lane.
Oh, Fly.
Yeah. Willie's is lingering nearby. They're going to get the bug again. They're catching out Fly. Big jump in. Almost real far. Goes right for Shanks. Very smart. Trying to get rid of the Shallow Grave before it can come out. And he is silenced up and will fall. Very smart play coming up from Ziz. Now looking to jump up. They're going to get more here. There goes the Haunt, but they can't help out their Dazzle friend. And they just have to hand him over. Wow, Ziz jumping past the Fiend's Grip, going for the right choice.
Yeah, that damage, and that was exactly as you called it. Ziz, he had his eye on one target. As soon as he saw that Dazzle come through, he's like, well, we need to make sure that he goes down if we want to get this kill on fly. They couldn't pick up the puck, but it doesn't matter anyways. They pick up the Dazzle with a really well-played jump by Ziz with the ball lightning. Now they'll look for a tier 2 tower, something they've not had going for the past 15 minutes. They haven't really pushed a tower, and the reason is it's just been tough to fight into all of the stuff that Top 5 have at their disposal here. But now Top 5 maybe second-guessing themselves here in their past couple of engagements. Ziz will take the tower. They're not ready to fight yet. They wanted their Dazzle to survive, and there it is, that Maelstrom that I talked about from the Mirana. No surprise that Baby J will pick this up and go for a Mjolnir next, I'd imagine. BKB, done for Fanny. He is sick of getting locked down and getting picked off, but that's not going to save you from a lasso. However, he's tanking enough to withstand a lot of right-click as well, so I like this pickup a lot. No surprise there.
If Willies can manage to get a BKB, it'd be huge for him. It'd definitely help out a lot. These feed scripts, when put at the right time, at the right position, can definitely change the fight immediately in their favor. So getting that BKB would help significantly. Petzl, he needs to work on getting a heart, I think. He needs a lot more durability. He can't get bursted down. If he gets locked down and taken apart, he has to be able to live to tail the tail and just get a few more licks in. But for now, he's just going to have to continue farming up. He needs a lot more. I mean, it's finally getting to that point where Osiris are trying to take more control of the map and choke them up into the base and restrict their farm a bit more. Now they have a bit of a buddy-buddy system happening here as they all congregate to the top. It looks like they're going to make a bit of a long rotation over, maybe look to get the tier 2 in the end. But we'll see if a fight breaks out, at this tier 2. If Osiris won't even consider defending it, if they even go for it.
They have to deal with the tier 3 getting pressured. That, of course, is coming out from Ziz, who can be in multiple places at once with ball lightning, and he can just jump around the map, essentially. And now also with the Necro 2 up, and especially with the Necro 3, once you get your Forge Spirits up and then maybe even bots for S, he can start ratting it up himself with the Invoker. You just jump around the map, throw up your Forge Spirits, throw up the Necro Book, and put some Alacrity up on one of those Necro units, and all of a sudden you've got yourself some good old-fashioned Lycan type play. So that's an option for later on if they can.
Oh, they're making a move on Pat in the bottom. Jump in Ziz, try to get something going. Took him down to half-life, but it wasn't enough as a nearby Batrider was ready to go, who did pop his BKB.
Yeah, and every BKB usage at this point is really imperative, so it's not a surprise that Ziz went for that play. Plus, now that he has a Shiva's Guard, he's got some nice mana regen coming out with the Orchid as well as the Lincoln Sphere, so jumping in and, just waiting a bit to have pretty much full mana, not that bad of an idea, considering, he's got 2,000 mana, too. It's a lot of mana, so now mana is not really an issue, and we talked about how Storm Spirit's kind of, their enemy is a mana to a certain point, excuse me. BKB is probably going to have to be his next item. He's got a Lincoln's, yes, but against Dream Coil and Waning Rift, BKB is really nice. He can forego it and just maybe go for another item, but that seems like the right item to me. We'll wait and see. He's got his Aegis now, so he's not really concerned at this point. They're just got to look towards their next fight, and we'll see when exactly that is.
I initially said that if Osiris can't end it before 30 minutes, they were just going to be in for a long day, and they might be able to get it done. They're definitely showing they have a lot more promise still there to make something happen. Top 5 been getting caught out of positions and kind of throwing away a bit of these fights right here, but there's still a lot of items to be had. I already talked about the BKB on Bane. We also got to talk about the puck. If he gets the sheep stick, that'd be very helpful as well. And then it comes down to which team can get the proper jump, which one can catch someone out, get the quick lockdown, the quick pick off, and just kind of use the numbers in their favor to get a push happening. Now, Osiris have a Necro Book to help them out if that's their case, and Top 5, man, with the help of Spectre, they could just rip apart any lane if they manage to pick off a fight.
Yeah, the problem is, look at the level chart here, and Ziz is almost max level. He's level 24. This guy's disgusting.
Dire's bottom
as good as DDX was in that Storm Spirit in the last game, he's putting in work right now, and they're living. Osiris, they're not giving up. They've got a Mech and BKB now on the Centaur Warrunner. The gem is up on him as well. Shiva's Guard being used to clear out a wave real quick. Pretty low cooldown, so no problem there. And Baby J just continues to CS. And now it becomes an issue with, all of a sudden, this Mirana, who had nothing, is getting back into it. And she's got something coming out. It's a Mjolnir. That is a Mjolnir on Baby J. That is nice, an item that is really good for a couple of these heroes to put the static shield on, whether it's Fanny, whether it's the Mirana herself, or whether it's the, more likely than not, Storm Spirit. This is some damage that Top 5 are going to have to try to deal with somehow.
A lot of people as of recent have really been falling in love with the Mjolnir active. It's great. And then plus you just got to consider the natural chain, passive that comes with it, being able to clear out a lot of these images that the Spectre is going to be laying out. So Mirana's doing a good job building up a little bit of farm. Is it enough to match up with the Spectre? I don't know, but she now has a lot more tools to use to try to help out her team and help out a lot of these fights.
I think it's a bit early for this Mirana to be really where Pat Soul is, obviously, considering the start that she had and everything Pat Soul's done in this game, but it's a good start. Mjolnir and a Yasha could become a Manta, and then all of a sudden you've got split pushing potential. I mean, that Yasha is definitely going to become a Manta at some point in time. And then they could even go for a Desolator, and then maybe even a Lincoln Sphere for Baby J, but that's if they get there. And for the past like 10 or so minutes, it's just been 1 or 2 pickoffs here and there, but mostly farming. And that's not a huge surprise. I guess both teams feel comfortable with their late game, and I don't know if either team should really feel that comfortable at all with how this game has gone. Like, do you really want to put your team kind of on the back of a Spectre or on the back of a Mirana? Like, is that what you really want to do here in this game, the way things have gone?
It's going to come down to the initiation. It's going to come down to either the Bat Rider. It's going to come down to the Storm Spirit. Who can find the appropriate time to take the fight and start things off? I mean, if you make a bad jump in, it will blow up in your face and you could just lose it. If you make the best jump in, you could win the game. So not to add a lot of pressure to a lot of these backup supports and the people who are going to be calling the shots as far as when to take the right fight, but it's going to be on their shoulders.
You're absolutely right. And what's surprising about that also is that one of the things that could certainly win you the game is a smoke. And I'm surprised neither of these teams have really gone for it yet. We've seen before, Osiris can win team fights for sure. They actually ghost walk right now. They're going to counter ward up. They want map control back. And that's really where this starts. Get map control, then maybe go for a smoke. Maybe even like just try to get some wards up here. There should be a gem up for both sides. And yeah, there is. This Bat Rider has one. The Centaur has one. So as we move forward here, it's more and more of a let's stick together, let's not get picked off, let's continue to farm. And Roshan is actually more than likely going to be the next point of contention. And
yeah,
well, they're already checking.
I was going to say the same thing. It's 2 more minutes before this Rosh will be up, but that's probably when we're going to see the next fight. One team is going to try to find the right opportunity to jump in there, and they might even go for a bait, but I would put my money on the fact that the Roshan pit could be the make or break it fight of this whole game.
And it was last time around, too. We talked about Osiris blowing up top 5. The last, I think, really big. So the fact that that's going to be the situation again just shows you how important it's going to be. And it should be Rosh with Aegis and only Aegis. I believe this will be the second Roshan that comes up. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that's true.
I think this is the second one, I believe. Yeah. No cheese, I would believe, in this one. Probably about 1 more minute before it's finally back. Already Bat Rider looking to scout it out. It will not be there, but a lot of Osiris Gaming committing to the top. They want the tier 2 here, so it's a matter of top 5. If they want to risk lingering around, maybe go, for the bottom. See if they can get Fanny on the way out.
They can even defend at top if they want to. This is a fort that's coming through. They can't defend this now. It's gone. And maybe they put some pressure on the tier 3. They're going to run bottom instead and look for that tier 2 bottom. But that was a very quick push coming out from S as well as pretty much the rest of Osiris. I don't know if he uses Necro. It looks like he didn't, but that was fast. He'll TP back home, and they'll try to put pressure here on the tier 3 top with at least 1 Forge Spirit. Now they'll back away. And okay, so yeah, I mean, it's all right. We'll take a tower. You take a tower. No big issue there. But look at this Bat Rider. Look at where Visage Familiars are. They're baiting this. You need to leave now, Bat Rider. There's 3 here. There's no way you can get a lasso and a kill without the help of the rest of your team, even with Haunt. So yeah. He'll jump away. And I was going to make a point here about something. I forget what it was, but
well, while you think about that, Pat Soul does have a heart online now, so a lot more tanking is coming out for him, and already about 2,600 gold. Would suspect him to hold on to a bit of it for, just in case a buyback is needed, but he's finding a lot of farm here in the top lane, and he's going to be 6 slotted before you know it.
Yeah, and that is the dangerous thing, is that even if Mirana gets some rebound farm, especially from this Midas and a couple kills, she was 3rd to last or 2nd to last, I believe. Now she's sitting halfway in the net worth column, and she's not too far behind the Puck and the Invoker. Getting up to Pat Soul and Ziz's level, that's going to be hard to do. Roshan now up. They will spot it out. The Radiant team, the Visage Familiars, they're coming through. Visage, his Assault Cuirass is done. And that is an item that, well, you don't see too often on, I guess, support players, but for a Visage, it's rather common when you already have an Aghanim Scepter, and, well, your team already has a mech or doesn't need it at this point, which is clearly, I guess, their opinion. They don't need a mech. And now, maybe they'll focus down this tier 2 tower. We'll see, though. Moonlight Shadow going. I think they might have spotted that. They probably saw that Moonlight Shadow. Now you've got to play back. And you have the gem up on the Bat Rider anyway, so he'll Firefly and he'll look for a pick-off. S is going to lead the way, but he is lasted up. There's the Haunt going through the BKB. Fiends is now on the Bat Rider. Doesn't matter. Spectral Haunt in. Reality. Fanny's doing what he can. BKB is up. They'll have the buyback immediately come out for the Invoker. Ziz on the backside. he's going to town. He's trying to get whatever, but he's low. BKB's now done on cooldown for a bit, and he's got no mana. Eul Scepter on the Batrider. They take down the Invoker again. They die back. Ziz in trouble, no mana whatsoever. They push it back with a great flame break. Top 5, they're winning this fight. They're taking this engagement. And on top of all that, they will lose 2 heroes, but they're supports. And that's not a problem at all. Blink forward, Fly, trying to find more here, but Fanny, too tanky to deal with. And Ziz, he gets a pick off, but it doesn't matter. They clean up the fight. Pat Soul now getting too difficult to deal with, it seems like. And, well, Osiris lose 3 in a tower. Actually 4, really, when you count that buyback.
It was said, like, a lot of pressure is on these initiators and figuring out when to take the right fight. They thought with the help of the Moonlight Shadow and a quick jump in from Invoker would be good, but I don't know, were they not counting on the fact or remembering that Batrider had a gem, quickly scouted him out, quickly went for the right target to lasso, grabbed up the Invoker, they bursted down 2 immediately. Invoker had to go with a buyback, ended up losing his life again, and it was just not Osiris' fight from the beginning. And now, Top 5 take advantage of that one, move on to the Roshan Pit. There should be an Aegis in the hands of Pat Soul. It's already hard enough to take this man down. Now this is looking like a real beast.
Yeah, they could. Fly actually has the only empty spot here. It looks like Fly will grab the Aegis next. And yep, this is only the second Roche. Fly will pick up the Aegis right now. Pat Soul, he's got a heart, so I think he's feeling pretty comfortable about his chances.
Yeah.
He sold his TP, and he's going to buy a Diffusal and then bots maybe as well. He'll get bots at some point, but he'll probably want to save for buyback first and foremost. You can't really disassemble the phase, so that's one unfortunate thing. But he'll have it soon enough, and then that's essentially 6-slotted. You can maybe get rid of the drum, but this guy's all of a sudden really, really farmed.
Yeah, and the mobility gets ridiculous at that point. I mean, you already can be a part of any fight with just by pressing your R button, but now you can find the appropriate time to go for your own certain split push, what have you, with the help of the bots, and you also can get back to defense quickly as well. So it's just going to become such a real nightmare. And I mean, Baby J, he's going to need a lot more farm. 4,600 gold, has to reserve a bit of that for the buyback if it's needed. But where do we go from here? More hardcore straight damage? Do you go for a Daedalus? Do you go for an MKB? Do you try to finish out this Manta? I mean, gets a bit questionable here for what Baby J can do to really bring to the table and try to get the fight back in their favor.
I don't know if any item at this point is really going to stop Top 5 from taking this game, but they're not really focusing him down. I mean, and if they do, he could just leap away if he gets caught out of position, assuming there's no, like, you know, Dreamcoil or Silence. He could go for a BKB or a Lincoln's to avoid a lasso, but they're not really targeting him. They're targeting really who's ever first, and most often it's the Invoker or Fanny. I'd say it'd probably be the Manta finish off just to make sure they at least have some pressure. No, okay, he goes for the BKB. All right, so he wants to stay alive in these fights, and that's, I guess, that's not a bad pickup. No item pickup here is bad. He just needs more items. That's really the thing. So
yeah, I mean, it's just helping him survive. The longevity of his life well worth it? Has he been outputting enough damage to make it worth its while? Oh, well, there's the jump in. Batrider making the smart call, going right for the Invoker. They should be able to quickly burst him down. They can see him. Moonlight Shadow will be no avail. Willies jumps in and will also fall. 2 down immediately. Ziz trying to make a go on the puck. Puck Hughes pulls out the Euls. There goes a bit of a shift. Can he get away? Now they're focusing down the Storm Spirit. Here is BKB. Shallow Grave, very nice. Jumping in, but Ziz, you are a great Storm Spirit, but are you good enough to try to battle on everyone? Now Pat Soul, the big man, making his entrance into the base, trying to catch down Ziz, is trying to make a run, but Batrider is going to be right there to meet him. 3 down. We might see the white flag. Arrow flies, will miss. Sidestep coming up from Pat Soul. Now looking to continue. Fanny with the help of the Mjolnir active. Is it going to be enough to turn it back? He's going to try to man up, but there's the Hex. Fly shows up and says, sorry, buddy. We're not going to make anything easy for you. Pat Soul with a double kill now. Turn back, looking to go on the tier 3 tower. Top 5 have this one, without a doubt.
Yeah, they called GG. That's going to be it coming out right now. And Top 5 with, they knew they had that late game in hand, and it wasn't even so much Pat Soul, it was just really great lasso. S getting caught out of position twice or even 3 times in that last couple of minutes there, and Baby J trying to go from support to carry, not really working out in his favor, and you can commend him for that, but it just didn't work out. And Ziz with amazing play. Well, it's not going to be enough. He ends the game with, well, let's see here, 15, 6, and 12. That is a great stat line for a Storm Spirit. And again, Ziz in the Storm loses a game. This time he goes down to Top 5. Well, we've got one more game in hand, guys, so keep that in mind and make sure you stick around here. Once again, thanks for joining us on the American Dota League. My name is Malt. With me is Kyle Guy. Make sure you follow the American Dota League at twitter.com/AmericanDota and check out the standings and schedule and some more information about the American Dota League at AmericanDotaLeague.com. So we'll take a quick break, guys. Stick around. We'll be right back.